welcome back to my channel, Welshman Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing my review for John Wick Chapter 4, and at the end of the video I will do my rankings of the 4 films that have been released. So, about this movie is it was directed by Chad Stahelski, who directed the last 3 movies as well, but he is well known as a stunt coordinator, director and stuff. You go through his career, he's been in some of the most high profile action movies out there and that, so you know, a good fit for a director with a lot of stunts in a movie, a director who knows what he's doing in them instance. Movie does have the recurring characters from the last few movies. Keanu Reeves as John Wick, Lance Henriksen, Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery King, Lance Reddick as Sharon, and Ian McShane as Winston. It is, but we do get a load of new characters in this one. Some of the main big hitters is Bill Skarsgård is the new main antagonist of the movie, who is the Marquis, who is bestowed upon by the head table anything to his disposal to get rid of John Wick. It is Clancy Brown as the Harbinger, who is kind of similar to John Wick, that he's had his wedding ring finger cut off, so he's similar to him, but he's like the see over things, and it's like they get rid of the New York Continental, they do, so he's there to see over stuff. He is also Donnie Yen, who is the every movie has that one guy John Wick takes on in the movie, and in this one it is Donnie Yen as Kane, who is a friend of Johnny, but unfortunately he's got things held over him by the head table. It is, so he's got to do their bidding. It is also get Hiroyuki Sanada, who is the main guy for the Continental in, I can't remember what country it was, in Asia somewhere. It was you know his name from he was Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, Run Off a Fury. He was in The Last Samurai, films like that, a lot of Korean movies as well. And his daughter, who plays the opposite of Sharon, who Lance Henrik, she's that kind of character at this hotel. Is played by Rina Sawayama, if I got that. Unfortunately, I butchered that. Sorry. Who plays Akira, who when I was looking through her filmography, this is her first film, it looks like, and she's a singer in Korea and all that, but she's a highlight in this movie, where I'll go into my likes and dislikes. I'll go into it a little bit more, but they're the thing. And Shamia Anderson, who plays the tracker, who's a weird character, which I will go into a bit later. But yeah, pretty much this movie is a continuation from the last one. It takes place a bit after the last movie, where John Wick was shot off the building by Winston and taken to the Bowery by the Bowery King, Lawrence Fishburne. So this one is pretty much a continuation of John Wick killing people in the head table, etc., all the elders, people like that. So they devise a plan to get out one guy to kill John Wick. So it's pretty much he's destroying hotels. It is, so he gets rid of the New York one, and then he goes to the Asian one and all that to get rid of, because he's a friend of John Wick and he won't betray him. The Hiroyuki Sanada's character won't betray John Wick because they're good friends, and it's like, it's not about the marker where you have to do things. It is about friendship and that, but his daughter's not exactly happy with that. It ain't. So you have a massive battle scene but there, which is, I want to say, a good 15-20 minutes long, to be honest, which was epic, the best battle scene of the thing. But then you get more of that during the movie, but then it's like John Wick gets a way out, and if you've watched the trailer, it's in the trailer. Duel the Marquis, it is the Marquis guy and all that, and get your freedom. So, you know, twists and turns. He has to get back into his family, from Belarus or Berlin he's got to go to and all that, but you know, from Belarus and all that, so he's got to get back into his family, which he was excommunicado in the last movie, obviously it is, and it really is just battle after battle and after that of him trying to get his freedom and his family's freedom and his friends' freedom. It is. The Donnie Yen character is really good in this, as well as he has something over his head at the head table, have over his head, that he's got to do what they're saying at the end of the day. It is, and I won't do so many spoilers. It has been out for a bit now, to be honest. I'm sure it's been out for over a week now and all that, so I will go into a little bit of spoilers, but I won't go into too much. I won't, because Donnie Yen's character does kill Hiro Yuki Sanada's character and his daughter, which might play in future movies. The end credit scene then might play into into future movies. It is. But another thing for the spoiler, and I think this will be my last one that I talk about spoilers for you, is the last Lance Henrik's character, Sharon. Very not spooky, it's very sad he did pass away just before the premiere of this movie, but his character does die in this movie. He does in the beginning, so you get a sad beginning and all that, and then when they get rid of the New York hotel then as well. Yeah, it's very heartbreaking around that time, but yeah, the movie is pretty much hit them like the last couple and all that. It has a little bit more of a story. I wouldn't say it has actually a bit more of a story. It ain't, but it's a bit more emotional and a bit more on stuff on the line in this movie. Like the last one, it was people who helped John Wick got injured or killed, etc. and all that. It's kind of the same in this one as well. They're trying to get rid of all his allies, so it's even harder for him to hide or get help, in other words. It ain't. But we do get a really good duel at the end. We do. And it is a very good ending. I do like the ending. Very don't know how to take the ending, because it goes one way, but I'm like, has it really gone that way? And maybe set up future movies. It is set up other future movies after this, but we do have a ballerina one next after this, directed by the same guy, or produced by the same guy that directs this movie. It is, so I'm interested to see that. But I would have loved to see a spin-off TV series of the Continental. I think everyone wanted that. It is, and maybe a game as well for the John Wick, because this series is crying out for a game in my eyes. It is. But I will go into my likes and dislikes now. So I have written what I want. So the action in this movie is absolutely spectacular. It is. It does go a bit into my dislikes as well, which I will talk about when I get into that. But some of the action is brilliant. There's an action scene right at the end of the movie in the third act where it goes to they're in a building, and it goes to a bird's eye view of seeing John Wick going to room killing people and that. So that is excellent and all that. And like I said, not all the action scenes are brilliant. Some of them are repetitive, which I'll go into my dislikes for that. But the Asian continental scene is by far the best part of the movie. Love the action scenes by them characters, especially Donnie Yen in that scene, and Hiro Yuki Sanada and Rina Sawayama. All them are brilliant in them scenes and all. That really is different action and that in this movie, which unfortunately the John Wick movies are kind of repetitive for the action scenes, unfortunately. I do like the music. Nothing really stands out for the music, but all the music choices they chose for this movie worked in each scene and each action scene. Cinematography, like I said, was excellent in this movie. Some beautiful scenes in this. A bit of a... I got a bit of an Exorcist scene in one scene where he's walking down the steps with all smoke or like steam behind him and that. So I got a little bit of that, but cinematography is brilliant. And I think this probably has up there with some of the best background characters not background characters, more of the supporting characters. I mean, it is, like I said, the three I said, Donnie Yen, etc. Clancy Brown's character's brilliant. Unfortunately, he's not in there that long. I think 3 or 4 scenes. It is Bill Skarsgård's villain is very arrogant, French, and every scene you see him in, he's in an expensive different suit in each scene and all, and he is like a very arrogant villain in this movie. It is we do get Shamir Anderson as the tracker. Bit of a weird character, to be honest, because he reminds me of Halle Berry's character from the last movie. So I was thinking they're going to be brothers or something like that, brother and sister, because he has a dog as well who's trained similar to them ones. And yeah, it's a weird one. He seemed to be just thrown in there just to add to it, to be honest. But he's a bit of a hit, bit of a miss and all. Like, you think, oh, is he going to help John Wick? Because he helps him in some parts, but he helps him for his own goal to get more money for his bounty. It is. But yeah, it's the background characters or the supporting characters in this thing. Like Ian McShane's brilliant as usual. Lance Henriksen, Lawrence Fishburne. I keep saying Lance Henriksen. Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery King again does an excellent job when they're on screen. They're not on screen a lot, but they are great. Keanu Reeves is he's probably the only low point in this movie, to be honest. I find him better in the other movies. This one, I think the movie kind of focuses more on the supporting characters than it does John Wick. It does. And yeah, I don't think he's that great in this movie personally and all that. But, he still does an adequate job for the movie. I'll go into my dislikes now. So it is the action scenes, and it is mainly the John Wick character's action scenes where he does the same moves over and over. It's kind of a critique for the last few movies, to be honest. Especially number 2, where it's the same action scene, boom, 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 all the way through. The third one, they're trying to change it up a little bit with the horses and the motorbikes, etc. and that. And they do change it up a little bit with some of the characters, especially the Asian continental, where they have samurai swords and bows and arrows instead of guns, really. It is. But, like I said, some of the are very repetitive, and some of the action scenes are a bit longer than they need to be. Like, this movie is a 2.5 hour movie. It is, or 2 hours 49 minute movie. And it doesn't really feel that long, but some of the scenes do lag a little bit too long. They do, especially some of the action scenes. It is, but that's a little nitpick for that. And I said long thing, and like I said, some of the characters, like I said, John Wick's not brilliant in this. I think he's brilliant in this, and like I said, Shamir Anderson's tracker didn't really need to be in this movie, to be honest. But like I said, the rest are really good, and like I said, story's more of a. I got story down as like or dislike, to be honest, because part of the story's really good, but then part of it ain't, to be honest. Like, you think, oh, he's going for the head tables and all, and they kind of skim over that and just go straight to the marquee guy trying to get a thing, putting out bounty after bounty after bounty, extending his bounty, the price going higher and higher and all, and more people. And be honest, man, some of the action scenes in this as well, much as I love the action scenes, some of them have really made me laugh, but not in a good way. It's like he takes 2 big falls in this movie, not as big as the last one. It is, when he fell off thing, and he just gets up again and all that. And there's these massive stairs at the end he's got to get to, and he fights all the way to the top. And this one main guy, the Marquis's main bodyguard, kicks him all the way back down, and he only had a couple of minutes. There's no way in 2 minutes he had to get back to the top of that by sundown, which is part of the stipulation of the duel. It was. And yeah, some of the action in this is way over the top, and I laughed at some of it, but not in a good way, unfortunately. But that's my review for this. I still found it very entertaining. This John Wick series is a very good average score going on. I don't think it's a bad movie in these 4, which I will go into when I do my rankings now at the end. But I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Easily an 8 out of 10 in my eyes. It is, and yeah, definitely one I can't wait to get on 4K as well, because I think it will look just like the other ones, will look absolutely stunning on 4K. So when I come back, I will do my rankings. So back to my rankings now. So at number 4, it is number 2. So this is probably high on most people's lists, but unfortunately it's the bottom of my one. I do like the story, I like the continuation, kind of from the last movie, where you kind of find out more in this one of how we got out the first time around. So obviously someone helped him, it did, but he's got a blood marker now, so which means he has to help that guy out. Doesn't want to, but unfortunately he destroys his house, so he makes him help, makes John Wick help him and that. But after doing so, he is now after that guy. The blood marker's over with, and he's after him. So another bounty on John Wick's head. People trying to kill him, especially the bodyguard of the woman he killed. He's after him. We got Ruby Rose as the main assassin in this one, after him as well. Unfortunately for this one, or as much as I did like the story, and especially the ending's probably one of the best when he kills him in the Continental, and that's how he becomes excommunicator. It is kind of a bland action, not bland action, but bland story throughout the rest of the movie, to be honest, and the action is kind of repetitive to a point. Just he does the same moves, etc., over and over in the movie, unlike the other movies, which I think is a bit more fresher action scenes. But yeah, it's probably the least favourite out of the 4, but like I said, it's still a good movie overall. At number 3, we do have the new John Wick Chapter 4. Probably a lot of people have this a lot higher on their lists as well. But like I said in my review, I did like the action, and unfortunately some of it's a bit repetitive, especially with Keanu Reeves' character John Wick. It is, and a little, not so much brilliant. The story's okay, but it's not as good as the my next 2 in the list. It is, but the action's really good, especially the Asian continent, and like I said, the supporting characters, especially the new ones, really do make this a better movie than number 2. At number 2 in my list is Part 3. What's it called? Parabellum. So I really did like the story in this one, where it's just pretty much John Wick trying to get out from the beginning of the movie, because it's a continuation from the last movie, where he's got to try and get out of New York now, but he's got all assassins after him now after becoming excommunicator, so he's got no help out there. It ain't. But he does manage to get out, kill the assassins and get out, and it's pretty much him going to the head table and trying to get his freedom back and all that. But he's got to do a mission where he's got to kill Winston now, after Winston and helped him out in the last movie. It is. So obviously doesn't do it, and they have a big battle scene at the end of this, and I love the action in this, especially the first part of the movie. Absolutely brilliant, with the horse riding, etc. Something new. Halle Berry, when he meets her and her 2 dogs, that's a very good action scene as well. It is. And the final battle of the Mark Dacascos, his assassination group, where he takes on him and a couple of his thing. Couple of them you might recognise if you watch the Raid, and the Raid 2 characters in there as well. It is, but very good thing, and you can see it's with this one as well, especially with Mark Dacascos and his group. They have a real respect for John Wick and his skills. So there's like plenty of times they could have killed him on the spot, but they want a proper fight and all that at the end of the day. So yeah, but that is my number 2. But number 1 obviously is the first John Wick. It is a simple story of revenge of a former associate. He's a former assassin, settled down with his wife. It is, unfortunately his wife passes away, and she leaves him a dog after the funeral to keep him company or grieve with something or someone. It is, but unfortunately an old associate's son, who doesn't know who John Wick is, or what he was previous, attacks him to steal his car and kills his dog. And yeah, you find out then when he goes to Aurelio's, which is John Leguizamo's, which you don't see after part. Is he in part 2? He might be in part 2, but you don't see him then after that, unfortunately. Which he's a really good character. It is, but then you find out a little bit about who John Wick was. They call him Baba Yaga, the boogeyman, who helped this Russian guy, his gang organization, get where they are. So yeah, it's pretty much a revenge thing and of John Wick trying to find the son and killing anyone that's in his way. You do have a character, Willem Dafoe's in this as well, who is an assassin as well, who's been tasked to kill John Wick, but he secretly helps him in the movie. And yeah, we have a good showdown at the end with the Russian mob boss. It is, and yeah, definitely a brilliant movie. This one's a brilliant movie, and yeah, definitely top of the list. So that's my rankings of the John Wick. See, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, tell me what your rankings of the movies is, or what you thought of the new Chapter 4 one. And if you'd like to see more videos, I guess, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.